to tell the families that, you know, they didn't die alone. There was somebody with them. There was somebody who tried to help.
Hillsborough cast a long shadow over one of the most successful periods in Liverpool's history.
Members of the team, like everyone else there, had never experienced anything like it. So next, we're looking at that day through the eyes of the players.
Beautiful sunny day.
It's starting to fill up. You can feel the atmosphere building up.
You know, we were just intensely focused on the game.
We didn't notice anything happening or see anything around the ground that gave us any inclination or idea of what was going to come.
The first 4 or 5 minutes of the game was frantic. There was a couple of fouls that people yard shrill of the referee's whistle. Peter Beasley at the bar. And then next minute we know that there's something going off behind the goal.
We had a corner against us, and I came back to defend the corner. And then I looked into the left-hand lane and saw that it was very uncomfortable. Behind Bruce's goal. So Bruce is the one who knew what was going on more than anyone.
I saw things against the fence, people's faces that were already blue, but they were cut of the line of the fence. Some of them saying, "Bruce, trying to help us." I turned to the policewoman on the gate and I said, "Can't you do anything? Open the gate so they can ease out." And there, at that time, they were screaming.
The first thing I really knew was that there was a fan ran on, and my first reaction was there's crowd trouble.
Then the referee comes straight to me and said, "Get your players off the pitch." Then you start to think, well, what's going on here?
Everybody else, apart from us, knew what was going on.
Somebody run past the dressing room door and said, "You cannot play this game, there's people dying out there."
It was on the TV, and it was the first time that we've seen it.
The news was coming that people were getting laid out from not far from where we were. Dead people. It was up to 10, then there's 20, 30. It's just like, you know, some punching, punch after punch.
It's hard to fathom or believe when you're sitting there thinking and the numbers going up and up and up and you're wondering when is this going to stop.
You realise that there's a major catastrophe that's happened in the stadium. But this was a football match. People want to watch. It was a football match. And we just couldn't come to terms with it. We just wished that you'd go back in time. It's gone. It's done.
The day after, we came back to the hospital.
That was a harrowing experience.
And we're going to go around and meet all the fans and see what can be done. But, you know, that is the main priority. The fans are worried and the interest. So that's all we can do, try and help them.
There were people still in comas. And the doctor said to myself, "Just talk to this young lad." And I said, "Of course I will." So his family were all around him and I spoke in his ear. And I went back to the doctor and I said, "When's the young lad, you know, hopefully come out of it?" And he said, "It's now." He said, "There's like machines, swap machines getting cut off this afternoon." And I just looked at the family and I had to walk out. Every player has at least half a dozen funerals to go to, maybe a dozen. And you go to one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. You know, the hardest of all, people couldn't have dealt with that. Nobody's been made accountable for it. And yet the 96 are still waiting.
It's something that lives with you forever.
It's still a sore point for us. You know, we have many nights out together, the players, but we don't talk about what happened.
It's something you'll never forget, and I hope no other football club has to go through what Liverpool went through that day.
We will never forget it. As long as we live, we will never forget it.
Well, Liverpool's manager that day had always been a true legend at this club. He was Kenny Dalglish. Until this week, he's never spoken on television about Hillsborough.
But he broke his 20-year silence for Granada Reports, and we brought you some of that interview on last night's programme.
He's not known for displaying his emotions, but it's clear he too has haunting memories.
I saw many pictures afterwards. I mean, it was a picture of 3 young girls used to come and get autographs every day, and their faces were straight up against the barriers, and they survived it. They were lucky ones. But the scale of it was horrific.
And how did you know what to do and how to handle it?
I never. You just go with your instinct. You didn't know more or no less, I don't think, than anybody else. There's a lot of people that did tremendous jobs, and it wasn't just about Marina and myself, it was everyone, and everyone chipped in and did the best they possibly could. I mean, they came to support us, so was it not right that we supported them? Didn't know their names, they didn't know their faces, but we knew they were Liverpool supporters.
Have you ever cried about it? Have you ever let that out, or is that just not something that Kenny Dalglish does?
No, it has done, yeah. Everybody shed a tear. Or a bucket.
As if the events of 20 years ago weren't terrible enough, what followed was seen by many as unforgivable. In the immediate aftermath, Liverpool fans were falsely accused of shocking behaviour and even blamed for the disaster.
And despite evidence of failures by police and other authorities, no one has been held accountable. Ashley Derricott investigates why Hillsborough victims feel they've had no justice.
Caged in, unable to escape, the horror of Hillsborough. There is a belief, though, that on that day, the truth was lost along with the 96 who died. Anne Williams' 15-year-old son Kevin was lost at Hillsborough. These are the images Anne wanted the world to see, the final minutes of her son's life.
They laid him in front of the north stand. Kevin was moving his head. The off-duty policeman went down, found a pulse at 3:37. Tried to flag an ambulance at 3:37 to put Kevin in.
But the Sheffield coroner Stephen Popper ruled that all Hillsborough's victims were dead by 3:15, one of the so-called facts of April the 15th, 1989, that many relatives still bitterly contest.
I don't know if it's worse not knowing or knowing, because I know exactly what they've done to push Kevin away, and I won't allow them.
Lord Justice Taylor's inquiry concluded Hillsborough resulted from a failure of police control. But long before, hurtful headlines had heaped the blame onto the Liverpool supporters.
I don't apologise for not selling it, but I don't say it in a nasty way. I just say we don't sell the Sunday. It was just great headlines as far as they was concerned. We've had a few half-hearted apologies since, but never a full and honest apology. They're not really sorry for what they wrote. It done the job at the time what they wanted to do. It sold newspapers.
A leading academic explains why he believes the then editor Kelvin Mackenzie published the allegations.
He was sure in his mind that he would be able to stand over them. And the reason he thought he would be able to stand over them was because they were coming from official sources. He never for 1 minute doubted the strength and legitimacy of those sources.
The reality was, as the tragedy unfolded, Match Commander David Duckenfield simply froze. Only 14 of the 96 dead ever got to hospital. Paramedics were stopped from reaching casualties. Tony Edwards was in the one ambulance that drove onto the pitch.
I had a long time to question why I didn't have any support. I don't think that's ever really been answered properly for me. I don't understand why we weren't given more assistance or people weren't able to take the bodies off. I don't understand why that happened.
In an unprecedented move, the police were allowed to change the statements of those on duty that day. A flawed investigation by the West Midlands Force led to no charges being brought. Private prosecutions of Duckingfield and his deputy Bernard Murray also failed. 9 years after the tragedy, South Yorkshire Police finally apologised in a press release.
If my son had been at Hillsborough,